Hello, everyone. This is Mickey.
Hello. How are you
doing? We haven't rehearsed this at all, in case you're wondering. So this is Knowledge Quest, or what we're doing is Knowledge Quest, which is a monthly kind of show and tell on this YouTube channel, talking about sources and resources of ideas, knowledge, frameworks, all of this kind of stuff. And the reason that we're doing this together is Mickey and I have just recorded a podcast episode for Better World Leaders. And as we did that, we were kind of resourcing some books that I've got here. And the first time Mickey ever walked into this room, he kind of came over here and went, "Oh, I see you've got this. And I see you've got, that as well. Good." And so I just said to Mickey, very spontaneously, and he's totally on the spot here, so be gentle. Would it be okay if he kind of explored very briefly, some of the ideas that are in each of these books that have really informed you, basically?
Yeah.
So how would you suggest that people sort of engage with these resources, and why should they kind of be interested in looking at these resources specifically?
So these in particular are really good insights into First Nations ways of knowing, doing and being. Most of them are written by First Nations people, but there's a couple thrown in there just because we found them on there that do a really good job of centering First Nations knowledge, even though they're written by non-Indigenous people. And so, I can whip through them and just talk a little bit about why they're so powerful. And then if you get a chance, you can have a read of them yourself and tell us what you think. So the first one is Treading Lightly. It's written by Tex Sculthorpe in collaboration with a guy called Carl Eric Seifby. And it's all about trying to understand First Nations ways of knowing, doing and being, and cultures, specifically in reference to organizational design. So it looks a lot at communities and how communities were formed and some of the cultural protocols and how you can kind of extrapolate from them and apply that to your design, org design. So it's really powerful. The next one is Fire Country by Viktor Steffensen. Just an incredible book about the importance of Indigenous ecological knowledge and the role of cultural burning in managing this very unique landscape on this continent. It's also just written in a really personable way, full of story and reference to really funny and cheeky and cool elders. So I highly recommend that.
Yeah, that's good. I would just add, out of all of these, that's the one I've just enjoyed reading. Absolutely nice. It's a really joyful experience.
Yeah. The next one is probably one that's really well known, is Bruce Pascoe's Dark Emu. This is obviously an incredible exploration of First Nations agroecological approaches to producing food that have been used here since time immemorial, specifically through the lens of the early colonial invaders and settlers. But it's, just a really interesting window into what life was like here a couple hundred years ago, and the way that...
Sorry, interruption. Buddy, we're doing something right now. Not right now. We're doing something right now. Just close the door, please.
Very safe.
7-year-old pitch invasion.
Nice one.
On live stream. All right.
So that's
Bruce Pascoe. All right. Love this one too.
This is a fantastic book by Damien Coulthard and his partner Rebecca Sullivan. They run a company called Wandu, which is an awesome First Nations native food company, and they have a lot of experience as restaurateurs, I think, in developing native food products. And this book lets you know how you can use native ingredients in your everyday cooking, something that I think a lot of people are just starting to learn about how to do. So a lot of people want to buy native foods, and they are, but they don't know what to do with it, and that kind of creates a barrier. It's a great book to get through that first step.
And it's been a really accessible resource for us in the kitchen, because a lot of the recipes are dishes you'd be very familiar with, and then you're just blending in lots of really beautiful native ingredients into something that you're already familiar with. So very accessible.
The next one's Braiding Sweetgrass. This was written by Robin Wall Kimmerer, a citizen Potawatomi woman from Turtle Island, which is also known as North America now. But it is an incredible blend of First Nations wisdom and modern scientific approaches to botany and ethnobotany, and it's all about the teachings of plants. But this, as opposed to her first book, which was called Gathering Moss, is really political at heart and goes very deeply, I guess, to the core of, I think, what we're trying to do at Native Foodways, as does some of the other books, in terms of trying to change our approach to food systems and exploring food sovereignty and food justice. The next one, this one is from Charles Massey. He's a non-Indigenous regenerative farmer who's written an incredible book on some of the regenerative farmers and practices that are currently being used across this continent, Australia, also known as Australia now. And he, again, also privileges the perspectives and knowledges of First Peoples and constantly talks about the need for reparations and engaging with First Nations communities if we really want to understand how to be regenerative on this planet. Incredible, book too.
I think this one just worked its way in because maybe you want to borrow it, right?
No, I just slipped that one in because I also think it's really important.
I love it. Great.
This is
an awesome book.
Yeah. I slipped this one in because this one's called Less is More, and it's all about degrowth. But again, Jason Hickel's an anthropologist from London School of Economics, but very much also in the world of political economy and ecology. And the book, again, does a really good job of centering Indigenous knowledge and talking about how important it is that, to me, basically the crux is that, what we're doing with Native Foodways is one of the key things that we need to progress if we want to live in a thriving world and achieve degrowth, and that is Indigenous-led agroecology on a wide scale.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to chuck a website link into Native Foodways if you want to check out who Mickey is, what he's doing. Thanks, man.
Sweet.
That was cool.
That's good.
All right, good stuff.